Greetings, peace, family. Hope all is well. Yes, I'm back with just a quick, short message about breaking generational curses. Are you breaking generational curses? Are you doing the hard work? Are you doing the work you came here to do? We're going to find out. I recently was on a podcast and we were talking about a variety of different things, right? But one of the things that came up was this individual was saying how does black women and black men figure out how to work together, and how people just want to give up, right, and not actually work together. And his examples were about how his great-great-grandfather or grandfather, right, was doing all of these things, gambling, cheating, and grandma stayed. That's the problem. We are no longer holding you up in your negativity, in your toxicity, right? We are no longer having to do that. Okay, because a lot of times what is not being said is back then when women didn't have any rights, right? So if they were to leave, many times, they would have had to leave their children, right? A lot of times, most times, they weren't able to have bank accounts or work, and depending on what era these things are, right? And there's generational curses, okay? So generation after generation after generation, a lot of times our great grandmother or great grandfather, mostly our great grandmother, right, had to put up with things like infidelity and these type of things because they really didn't have any options. This day, we don't have to do that. What? Baby, put up with your toxicity for what? Right? Because we have our own businesses, we pay our own bills, we can ourselves, why would we stay in a very toxic and low vibrational energy, Ashe, thank you, Spirit, when we don't have to now? That's not something that we have to do. So therefore, we're able to break generational curses, not stay with a husband or just a toxic partner in itself, right? Simply because we don't have any other avenues. We don't have any other options. We don't have anywhere to go. We can't get bank accounts. We can't do all of these things, right? So I do agree that people need to work it out if both parties are able to work it out. But if only one party is willing, right, to be beneficial and non-toxic in said relationship or situation, right? Friendship, whatever the dynamic is, right? Because it doesn't really matter the dynamic. Because you can even have friends who you need to break generational curses with, right? Because maybe you're a people pleaser. Your friends are only your friends because you always say yes. Say no and see if they still your motherfucking friend. Okay? But if you're not breaking a generational curse by saying, no, I'm putting my own mental health above everything, right? I'm putting my own physical health above everything, right? No, I'm tired today on a Saturday. I can't run you to the grocery store and be out and take you here and there and everywhere. Okay? Not this weekend. Okay? If you can't have some boundaries, then guess what? You're not breaking generational curses. Okay? A lot of times, our parents are breaking generational curses because they are the best grandparents ever. Better grandparents than they was parents. What? The patience and the kindness and the consideration and the thoughtfulness that they give to these grandchildren just wasn't there for us. And it wasn't there for them, right? So a lot of times we like to get on the grandparents for grandparenting, but honestly, they're breaking generational curses. They are being the grandparents we never had, they never had, okay? And so now it's even if you have issues with your parents, if they are being a wonderful grandparent, let them people be grandparents. They trying to break the generational curses that they can break. They're not going to be able to break all of them, right? Because otherwise you wouldn't be here. If they could break all the generational curses, why would the ancestors need you? So don't what's the best way to say this, Spirit? Hold on, y'all. Try not to hold a grudge toward your parent for not being the parent that you needed, right? Especially if they're being the grandparent that, the best grandparent that they can, because they could not break what you were sent here to break. You probably have a great relationship with your offspring, better than the one you have with your parent, right? And that's a generational curse that you're breaking. And thank you, Spirit, for, right? Because it can be chaos. Okay? And so if your parent, though, even outside of the issues that they have with you, are still showing up and being the best grandparent, then accept the fact that that's the generational curse that they are able to break. And for that, you can appreciate them for that. Does that make sense? As long as those grandparents are upholding your boundaries. So if you say your children don't eat A, B, and C, and your parent or your parent is making sure that your child don't eat A, B, and C, or they're not allowed to go A, B, and C, or they're not allowed to be around this person, as long as said boundaries are being stick to, let them parents heal the generational curse that they can. Because by you not allowing it, because you have some kind of vendetta against said parent, that you're not allowing them to be a grandparent, because not because they're being toxic or putting that child into harm's way, but because you have a vendetta because they're treating your child better than they ever treated you, and now you're upset about it. Baby, watch out for karma. Watch out for karma. Because you can't stop somebody else from breaking a generational curse because you haven't healed. What? You gonna stop somebody else from breaking a generational curse because you haven't healed your own trauma? Baby, I would highly suggest against that. Okay, so please go do your healing, okay, and allow people who are able to break generational curses, or the generational curses that they are able to break, allow them to break them. Yes, thank you, Spirit. Allow them to break them, okay, because your children, your offspring, have a grandparent. Why would you want to take that away, especially if you didn't have one? At all the games, okay? Your parent didn't come to none of your games, but they at your grandchildren's stuff, or their grandchildren's stuff, right? They're at your children's events. You weren't allowed in the living room, okay? And now the grandchildren jumping all over the couch, flipping over that motherfucker, okay? Listen, you wanted them to have patience with you, but they have it with the grands. They're breaking a generational curse. Okay, go heal. That's what you need to do. You need to go heal and allow whatever generational curses that your parents can break, allow them to break it. Okay? And you just continue to break the ones that you're able to break, even the ones that they couldn't break. Okay? Listen, you needed this today. I don't know who you are, but you needed it. And here it is. Okay? I love you. 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 Have a great day. Peace, power, prosperity. Later.